Hi, welcome to BNL Jersey Girl Talk Show. We are your hosts, Brooke and Liz, and today we will talk about how Alex Earl became popular on social media, while Hazel is a boutique where there are hot new trending items. We will explain what her day-to-day looks like as a 22-year-old and how Hazel Boutique grew as a company. Now let's go to U Miami. Liz, what do you think about U Miami?
U Miami has been my dream school ever since I was a child for many reasons. I've grew up loving the beach, and it's by the beach, so I definitely would like that. What about you?
I want to go there really bad, and because Alex Earl goes there, I've seen that many people have been trying out to go to U Miami because they want to be like her. Alex Earl also manages her time really well with going to a lot of events and having good grades. Do you think you would be able to manage your time like that?
Definitely not. I know she's in the business major, and she's in her senior year, so she's definitely getting somewhere. It does manage her time very well. I don't know, all the time she's always away, or she's promoting something, and she still manages to get to class on time and everything.
Now let's go to Sydney as she tells us her input on U Miami.
Alex Earl goes to the University of Miami, and many girls on TikTok have been looking up to her, and it's in a way promoted this college because a lot of people see her having so much fun and managing her schoolwork and going out and having fun and going to the beach as well. And I think it's good that a lot of people look up to her because they can see that she can still have fun in college, but also she can manage her schoolwork well.
Thanks, Sydney. Now let's talk about Alex Earl's trip to Dubai. What's your input on it?
I've never been to Dubai, but I've heard it's really cool. Have you ever been?
I've never been to Dubai, but Alex Earl went, and the whole trip was sponsored by Tarte. They flew, I think it was 10 influencers out there, and they made posts about all their makeup, and they got paid for each TikTok. I think it was really cool. What about you?
Yeah, I think it was cool too. I would want to be her because every post you do, you get paid because she's sponsoring Tarte. And I know she went on fun experiences. She rode camels, ate new food, drank new drinks. Have you ever ridden a camel before?
I have not, but it's definitely on a bucket list. I think that was really cool.
Now let's talk about makeup routine. Do you own any Alex Earl's makeup products?
I do. I own the Drunk Elephant drops. They're $36, and they're sold out everywhere because she promoted them so much, and everybody wants, I don't know, I guess her skin was really tan, and everybody looked up to it, and they wanted it so bad. And I saw people were selling it for $70 because you couldn't get them anywhere. But I got them before Alex got them, so yeah. What about you?
I do not have the tanning drops, but I want them, but they're sold out everywhere because they all want Alex Earl's makeup products she uses. And I've heard that some people do not think it's worth the price since it does not help you get your face tan. People do mix it with moisturizer, others don't. Do you mix it with moisturizer?
I do. I use it with the Drunk Elephant moisturizer, but I also have the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand and the Tarte Concealer. Those are my two favorite things, and they go so well together. She used them together, and I don't know, I just love them so much all together.
I own the roller lash she uses. I really like it, and I also have the Huda powder. It's really nice on the skin. And now let's go to Ava as she tells us a little about her.
I love Alex Earl because she influenced many girls around the world with her makeup routine. She promoted the deep bronzy drops from Drunk Elephant and white eyeliner under her eyes. I love this because many girls can now look up to her and now use this stuff now.
I think the Dyson is worth $500.
Yes, I do. I recently got it. There's a lot of different styles to it. There's a straightener brush, a hair dryer. I personally like the straightener because it uses less heat. Do you own a Dyson?
I don't, but basically, if you don't know what the Dyson is, it is a hair wrap stylist. It's $500 because it doesn't use heat on your hair, and a lot of people suffer with the heat on your hair, but yeah.
I know that it's a better experience because it doesn't damage my hair that much as a normal straightener did. Yeah. So that's why I think it's worth the $500. And it also fits any hair type, curly hair, straight hair.
Alex Earl promoted this a lot, and I think that's why everybody got it, because she used it and everybody wanted how her hair looked.
So let's talk about how she got famous by TikTok. How many followers do you think she had?
Oh, I don't even know. She started when she was like she had like no followers, and I started following her in like November. I don't know. I've just like her Get Ready With Me's. Like they have been so interesting, and that's how I spend my time. I watch them. I think they're so interesting and fun to watch. What about you?
Yeah, again, like how people want to be like her. They make Get Ready With Me, and they show their daily lives. She also influenced like a lot of products off TikTok. They give her stuff for free so their company could get more popular as it goes.
Yeah, the PRs. Yeah, I think they're very interesting.
Now let's go to Evelyn as she talks about Alex Earl's TikTok uprising.
Alex Earl grew a following very quickly, and with her following, she decided to influence people with her outfits. She's worn many different outfits to places like the Super Bowl and going on a boat with her friends. She also promotes the brand Hazel by wearing her sweatshirts.
Thank you for listening about Alex Earl. We'll be back, and we'll be talking about Hazel Boutique.
Welcome back. Now we will be sharing some topics about Hazel Boutique. I know that they're famous for their bracelets and jewelry. Do you have any jewelry?
Yeah, I have 6 bracelets and my necklace. I wear them all the time, and they're my favorite things ever because they don't tarnish. I wear them when I shower. I wear them when I go in the pool, and they're just my favorite things ever. What about you?
Yeah, I do own the jewelry. I have them right now. I like gold better than silver. What do you think?
I like gold better too. I know a lot of people that stack the silver, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm more of a gold person.
Do you color code your bracelets?
Yeah, I color coded mine. They're mostly all pink. I have an orange and a yellow in there. I kind of went for like warm colors, but yeah. What about you?
Personally, I don't color code mine. I just keep it just pinks and purples, and yeah.
How many do you have?
I have 6.
Oh yeah, same.
Now let's go to Sophia and Chelsea as they tell us about their Hazel jewelry.
My favorite thing from Hazel is their accessories. I have a whole bunch of things like rings, necklaces, and bracelets, but my favorite thing is the bracelets. You could stack them and get all different colors and sizes. They look amazing stacked on top of each other, and they overall make your fit look better.
My favorite bracelets from Hazel would probably have to be the one with the cross. It's like gold, and then it has like a pearl cross. And then I would probably have to say like the big beaded gold and pearl one is another one of my favorites. I also really like the neon colored ones. I have both gold and silver, and they're so cute to mix and match. So yeah.
Now we'll be talking about the Hazel sweatshirts. Brooke, how many Hazel sweatshirts do you have?
I own 4, and I like them because they come in different sizes, different styles, different colors. Do you own any sweatshirts?
Yeah, I have 2. I have the blue butterfly and then the pink smiley face. They are my favorite things ever. They are so comfortable. I'm not wearing mine right now, but
Yeah, my favorite is the orange one. It used to be like hard to find, but now they're coming back in stock. I like ordering. I don't like ordering online because you could barely get any sizes.
yeah.
And I think just going in the store is so much easier because you get help. Which one do you like better, ordering online or going in the store?
I like going in the store because I just like seeing like what there is like available. I also have the Hazel sweatpants. I got them for my birthday. They are so comfortable, but the sizes run very big, which I've noticed.
Yeah, I agree. I have the black with the Hazel logo, and I have to roll them because it's too big
Yeah.
on me.
Really big. Now let's go to Amanda, and she will tell us about her Hazel sweatshirts.
My favorite item from Hazel Boutique are their crew necks because they are so comfortable and have so many unique designs.
Okay, now let's talk about going out outfits. Liz, do you own any?
I have the white shirt. It's for like fancy dinners, but that's pretty much it. What about you?
I have the yellow dress that has ruffles on the side, and I know they sell hats too. Personally, I bought the Hazel hat that I use at the beach. Do you have any hats?
No, I don't.
Now, what's your favorite item from Hazel?
Definitely my bracelets. I wear them all the time, and they are pretty expensive. They're like $50. I think my cheapest one was like $45. My most expensive one was like $80. But I love them so much. And yeah, what about you?
I agree with you. My favorite is the bracelets because they match my outfits all the time, and they're expensive, but I think they're worth the price.
Yeah, sometimes mine just like the clasp gets loose though, and to fix it it's like $17, so I would just buy a new bracelet at that point.
Yeah, a couple days ago, my Hazel bracelet broke, and I'm really mad because we have to go and get
Yeah.
it fixed instead for free.
Yeah.
Let's talk about candles. Do you own any candles?
Yeah, I have the lavender cowboy.
I do not own a candle. What do you like the candle? Like, do you think it's worth the price?
Yeah, I do. It was like $20, but like
That about wraps things up for this episode. BNL Jersey Girl Talk Show. Stay in tune for next week's topics.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. Today I'm here with Rocco Capola, and we'll be talking about the blockbuster trades that just went into place. The biggest ones include the Suns, Mavericks, and Nets. Let's start with the Suns and Nets. In the latest trade between the Suns and the Nets acquired Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and 4 future-round picks. Rocco, who do you think won this trade?
Well, Jake, I'm actually going to go with the Suns. Now, I know the Nets got 4 first-round picks, which that's a huge haul for what they got. But when you look at an organization standpoint, the Suns, they run so much better than Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn have been wrapped up in controversy for 3 seasons now, whether it was Durant, Kyrie, Harden even. And the Suns are built to win now if they could piece it all together. The Nets, I don't trust that organization. I don't like their coach. I don't like the players. I like Mikal Bridges, but I don't think he's a superstar.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. Mikal Bridges is a great player. Definitely not a superstar yet, but he could definitely get there. How good do you think the big three of Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker could do now that they're all together on the Phoenix Suns?
I mean, you look on paper, it's a really stacked big three. The problem is with a lot of big threes in this league, Jake, is egos. Egos are what got the best of the Brooklyn Nets, and that's why they never even reached an Eastern Conference Finals. Egos are a problem in sports. If the Suns can just control, you don't have to make it all about you. Just be about the team. Try to win a championship. You're all on the same team for a reason, so go for a ring. Put your egos aside and just go win it all.
Yeah, definitely sad that all the 3 years that the big three of Harden, Durant, and Kyrie were together, they couldn't make anything out of it. I mean, how important do you think the trade deadline is for teams? Like, so many teams just get in that extra trade right before the deadline, and it could really make or break your season. How important do you think that is?
The trade deadline is one of the most important aspects in professional sports. I mean, it forces you to sometimes make a trade you don't want to make, a trade that you have to make for the sake of the team. So the trade deadline, it's important because that's your last moment to get assets for your franchise. If you want draft picks, if you want a star, develop a star, or a superstar. Like, it makes your team better or worse, addition by subtraction.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, you look back at 2019, the 76ers picked up Jimmy Butler right before the deadline and brought him all the way to the conference finals. Of course, got heartbroken by Kawhi Leonard, but, trade deadline can definitely boost your season. Next trade, Kyrie to the Mavs, and Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith back to the Nets. Who do you think won this trade, Nets or Mavs?
I'm going with the Mavs. Like I said, I don't trust the Nets organization or the front office. I think the people in charge are not meant to be in the NBA. And the Mavericks, what's this now? Kyrie and Luka, on paper, that's an incredible duo. Like, what Luka Doncic has done to the Mavericks franchise, he's brought them back from pretty much irrelevancy, and now you could argue that they're a contender for the NBA title. Like, what Kyrie Irving does on the court mixed with what Luka's playmaking ability, it's awesome. Like, you just love to see that type of stuff if they could put it together. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Kyrie, he could basically create any shot he wants on the floor, most likely the best handles of all time. And partner that with Luka, I mean, such a efficient scorer. I mean, they could be dangerous, and they could definitely make a great run in the playoffs. Moving on to the next trade, the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell's back to the Lakers, and they also acquired Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. Russell Westbrook finally out. I know it was a bit of controversy. A lot of Lakers fans wanted him out. They didn't think he was doing well. And now he's in the Clippers. Who do you think won this trade? Do you think the Lakers gained from this?
I think the Lakers do gain from it because I'm going to be really honest with you. Russell Westbrook's trash. He hasn't done anything in years, and he's not a game changer on the court anymore. That's what it is. He's washed. He's out of his prime. He's not what he used to be. So I like that D'Angelo Russell's back in L.A. because it's where he feels like he's home, And D'Angelo Russell's still a good player when healthy. Like, you see, he's a great shooter. He can move with his feet. He's fast. I like D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I mean, I think Russell Westbrook definitely lost his effect from when he was on the Thunder. I mean, he's just not that guy anymore. I mean, maybe he could work well with the Clippers. I know they've been using him differently, so they can maybe make him work better than the Lakers. But I think D'Angelo Russell is a way better fit for the Lakers. They need more shooters. They need more than Russell Westbrook, more than what he was doing for them.
Yeah, you can't score, you can't win. That's how sports work.
Yeah. With all these trades happening, we had a chance to ask a few students who they thought would win this year's NBA Finals. Let's throw it to the hallway.
For me personally, I think the Phoenix Suns, KD just got traded to the Suns, so they're going to be a very dominant force in the league.
I think right now the Denver Nuggets have the best chance because with Ja Morant out, the Western Conference just got weaker, so they're really good right now.
In my opinion, I have to go with the Mavs. I think Kyrie and Luka, once they get their chemistry up, I think they'll pull it through.
That's all we have for now. Stay tuned because next we'll be talking about NBA All-Star Weekend.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. All-Star Weekend just went down, which means many events such as the dunk contest, three-point contest, and the All-Star Game have just happened. Let's start with the dunk contest. Rocco, in this year's dunk contest, Mac McClung, he went off. I mean, his dunks were crazy, especially for his size. I mean, it's incredible to see a player like that do something like that. Do you think this was better than the past few years? Because I feel like the past few years in the dunk contest had definitely been lackluster, and I feel like this brought it back. How do you feel about Mac McClung's performance?
I mean, yeah, you said it. Mac McClung was phenomenal. I loved every single bit of his act. I mean, the moves he did, he really wanted to win. He showed it. None of the other players wanted it as badly as him. And for Mac McClung, what was he, in the G League, from what I heard?
Yeah, he's still in the G League.
Not even on a real NBA roster. And he's out there making a name for himself without even stepping on a real NBA court. I mean, it's awesome. Even if he never could make it far, even though he still has that ability, because you see what he could do with the ball, obviously. But it's awesome. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, with his performance in the G League and in the dunk contest, do you think Mac McClung could make his way to the NBA in the future?
Definitely. I mean, anybody can make the NBA if you got a real shot. Like, he could really work on his playmaking ability because we see once he gets up to the rim, it's pretty much over, just from what we saw. Obviously, sometimes you don't always see what the truth is, but Mac McClung, I think he could really be something special if a team's willing to take a chance on him and if he gets the right coach in.
I mean, I think Mac McClung, even right now, I think he deserves a chance. I mean, I know we got a few days with the Lakers at the end of the last season, but I think he definitely deserves a chance in the near future. We had a few chances to ask a few students if Mac McClung deserves to be in the NBA yet. We'll send you to the hallway, and we'll be back with you in a minute.
I think he should be not in the NBA because I say give him another year or two to let him develop.
No, I don't think he should be in the NBA yet. Maybe at some point, but not yet.
I think he should be in the NBA because I would give him a chance, and he won the dunk contest, so I think he should be in the NBA.
Welcome back here on Coach's Corner. Damian Lillard won this year's NBA three-point contest. He's one of the most efficient three-point shooters and scorers in the game, as he averages 32.3 points a night. Jake, I got to hear this. What did you think of Damian Lillard's performance?
I mean, it's great. He's finally getting himself some awards. Hasn't got a ring yet. He's way too loyal to his team, in my opinion. He's so talented, one of the best shooters in the game, and I feel like the Trailblazers is definitely holding him back. I mean, he's a really loyal player. That's always great. But I feel like he could definitely take advantage of his skill and utilize it somewhere else to have a better chance at winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, the Trailblazers had their chance a few years ago, and they couldn't get past the Warriors. And I know a lot of players care about loyalty, which you like to see nowadays, but now it's just business, Jake. If you see a team that fits you better to get the ring, you go and you take it. Obviously, you got to try and make it as peaceful as possible, but now you can't just waste your time with a franchise who they'll say they respect you, but on the court, you see all you need to see. They don't respect you if they don't got the right guys around you.
Yeah, I mean, Dame definitely stuck in there for way too long. Great player, but I don't think it's doing good for him. Move on to the All-Star game. This year's All-Star captains for the 6th straight time were LeBron and Giannis. And for LeBron starters, he got Nikola Jokic, Zion Williamson, Steph Curry, and Luka Doncic. And Giannis picked Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and Kyrie Irving. Giannis actually won this year's All-Star game. Usually it's Team LeBron. Why do you think they won?
I mean, a lot of players don't, or people rather, they don't like the All-Star game anymore just because they don't think the players try. But you're still winning something out of it. You're getting a chance to play with some real superstars that you might never get the chance to play with in this league. And it's fascinating to see how these players on Team Giannis, they respect Giannis so much because he's never in the media for the wrong reasons. He's always so humble, such a nice guy, and he's a fantastic player. I mean, they played really well. Because listen, 184 points, that's still a lot of points.
Yeah, it's a ton. I mean, Giannis, like you said, who hates Giannis? He's such a nice guy, and he's such a good player as well.
You're not a fan of the game if you hate Giannis.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
One reason I think they definitely won is Jason Tatum breaking the scoring record in the All-Star game, 55 points. How do you feel like how do you think his performance this year in both the season and the All-Star game, how do you think that could correlate to the Celtics maybe winning a championship?
I mean, yeah, the Celtics are definitely a favorite to win the NBA Finals, and Jason Tatum, he's playing some of the best ball of his career right now, and he's a superstar in the league. I mean, the Celtics, they've always been a good team. I mean, most championships in the league tied with the Lakers?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, regardless, Boston will always find a way to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
They are a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference for a reason. They could beat the Bucks. They could beat anybody. Jason Tatum is really that guy. I mean, him and Jaylen Brown, what they do on the court together, it can't be matched by many other teams. So the Celtics really just need to not get in their own head. They don't have many egos on the team, so you could say that. They're just a well-rounded team, and I think we might very well see them winning the Larry O'Brien when all's said and done.
Yeah, I mean, Celtics have all the talent you could want, and Jason Tatum, I mean, he just brings everything you need to the floor. Great shooter, great passer, great playmaker. And the way he's developed over the past few years since he was a rookie, it's amazing. Speaking of MVP, we had a chance to talk about the MVP race. I know Nikola Jokic is currently leading. Who do you think deserves to win the MVP this year?
I would love to see Jokic win it for a 3rd straight time and make the three-peat, but I think this year you got to give it to Joel Embiid. I mean, players on the court fear Joel Embiid. The guy, he's a big guy. He's a playmaker. He could shoot threes too. Like, he is just a natural athlete. He's a game wrecker. Not even a game changer, a game wrecker. Opposing defenses fear him because they can't stop him. And Embiid, he's been ridiculous all year, and I think he really deserves to win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, Embiid is crazy. Jokic definitely having a great year too, but I feel like he's more about the stats. I mean, Denver still 1st place in the West, but I feel like he's more about the stats, while Embiid, he's just a monster player, always so dominant, and I feel like Embiid definitely deserves this one.
I mean, yeah, like with Jokic, he's a fantastic player, top 2 center in the league in my opinion. But you could shut down Nikola Jokic. It's hard to stop Joel Embiid, and it's especially hard to stop Joel Embiid when players on your court, your best players, don't even want to step onto the court with him. That's how much they fear him.
I mean, it's crazy. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Coach's Corner. Stay tuned for more sports news and talk.
Welcome to Sports World Network. I'm your host, Tarek Silliman. Alongside with me, Rocco Capola. Today, we'll be going through how the World Cup turned out, the amazing ending of Messi's career, and who we expect to make a name for themselves in the next World Cup. So, Rocco, before we get into what happened, what was your original prediction for this World Cup?
Originally, I had Spain and Portugal in the final with Argentina taking third place. I really think it still could have happened if a few things went their way. Not to mention Morocco making their run, taking out two of those teams. But overall, I think it was the best World Cup I've ever watched.
I agree. I think looking into this World Cup, we saw some heavy hitters, but man, I had my money on Brazil. It's simply just Brazil. They had the talent. They got the young guys. They got the goalkeeper. They got everything. They're stacked in every position, and they got the passion, man. You see when they score, they do all these dances. They running with their coach. So I'm like, bro, these guys, these Brazilians, they got it.
Yeah, that's Brazil football for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we all expected. But in regards to the actual World Cup, when it was, when we first started the World Cup, how did you expect, the turn of events and the big games that were lost?
With all those comebacks that happened and the so much at a time at the end of regulation, it felt like it wasn't a usual World Cup. It was something special. I mean, it was in the middle of the winter and not in the middle of the summer. So this World Cup in Qatar was really unique.
I agree. It's one that, everyone's talking about. Everyone's like, oh my God, the World Cup's going to be in the winter. All the vibes are not going to be there. But no, I feel like this was definitely the biggest shocker. And I think that I could definitely say that this is the best World Cup I've seen ever. And, as we saw, this amazing trilogy of Messi finishing this World Cup. I mean, what do you think, man? Is the script true or what?
It's the storybook ending to arguably the greatest of all time, Lionel Messi. I mean, got every trophy he could possibly win now. He's won the Copa America, won the World Cup, obviously winning a Champions League too. It's you love to see it. He deserves it.
Absolutely. When it comes to, Messi, the GOAT debate, I think, I have a different opinion. But, Messi winning the World Cup, he accomplished what everyone, would just have dreamed of him to accomplish. And he finally got that championship to carry his country on his shoulders. And, something that the whole world was shaking, especially the Arab part of the world. Morocco really, really made a name for themselves. And, I think this is the definition of a Cinderella run, right?
Yeah. Morocco's run was fun to watch with the teams that they beat. I mean, in the group stage, they took out Belgium. They tied with Croatia. It was a scoreless draw, I believe. They took out Spain on penalties 3-0 and beat Portugal.
It's crazy.
Before obviously falling to France, but Morocco, it was so special to watch them play, especially after they just beat Brazil in a friendly 2-1. It's awesome. I'd love more competition.
Yeah, I feel like, when we saw them beat, one team and the next, and then when we saw them, beat Portugal, no one expected that. Literally no one expected that.
Yeah, it's like who's next on the gauntlet for them.
Exactly. The only question we're asking is, are they going to win it all or not? But, as we saw, they just beat Brazil in a friendly. So, who knows? I think they have a good future ahead of them. And, sadly, they had to end the unfortunate last World Cup run for Cristiano Ronaldo. Definitely a sad one for him.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be his last if he doesn't play in the States next time around. But, man, Ronaldo, with what he's done for the sport over his 2-decade career, I mean, there are times where we thought he wasn't human, times where he just really needed to step up for his country, and he delivered on every big stage he was a part
Absolutely.
of. He is Mr. Champions League for a reason, and you can never count him out.
It's a shame what they did to him in the last game, the second last game, against Switzerland, and the last game as well, subbing him out. Definitely was unexpected, and they should be ashamed themselves. But I'm still happy that he had an amazing World Cup career. In regards to the two big teams that we saw, like Brazil and France. Oh my gosh, like we could spend a whole segment talking about Mbappe himself. Like this guy, 24 years old, just got assigned to be the captain of his national team. But we saw him at this World Cup with such immense leadership. And I don't know, Rocco, what do you think?
I think when Messi and Ronaldo are done carrying their torches, that torch is going to Kylian Mbappe. I mean, I think he's a future Ballon d'Or winner, and the guy might win another World Cup when all's said and done. It's awesome. Like, a hat trick in the final. Like, what Mbappe does on the field, he's so fast. He's such a dynamic player to the point where, for a kid his age, players on the opposing country, they fear him. The fans on the opposing country fear him.
While Argentina won the World Cup, everyone has got to agree, Morocco did a really good job. Let's see what the others in the hallway think about the World Cup.
I think Messi is the better player because he has broken more records, and he also has more wins, like championship wins, than Ronaldo.
I think Kylian Mbappe.
Logan. In this generation, I think the best player is Phil Jones. He's a pretty good player, and he's an outstanding center back.
That wraps up this Ballers Hassle of a show. We may or may not see you for next time. So see you next time.
Welcome to the NFL Talk Show. Today we're going to recap the 2022-2023 season, including the playoffs, Super Bowl, NFL Honors Awards, players and teams that surprised, and players and teams that disappointed. So for the NFL season, there were a lot of surprises, including teams like the Lions, who came from 2 wins to almost making the playoffs, and teams like the Chiefs, without Tyreek Hill, getting about 14 wins. Rocco, what did you think of this season?
I thought it was really fun to watch. I mean, you look at everything that's happened this year, all the comebacks, all the breakout seasons, comeback tours. Like, look at Geno Smith, for example. Like, no one thought he would ever be anything in the league, and he made the Pro Bowl, set a new single-season record for the Seattle Seahawks, most passing yards in a season. Crazy.
Yeah, really. Russell Wilson was supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and it seemed like fell off a cliff when he went to Denver. And people blame that on Hackett, but really it had to be some of Wilson as well with what he was doing.
I mean, yeah, it all starts with the quarterback. Coaching is very important, but if your quarterback's not producing, then he's the guy to blame.
Yeah, definitely. And the Giants, after what seemed to be a lost hope of a season, firing Joe Judge, hiring Brian Dable, and hiring Joe Shane into the general manager position, they really came back from last season. Even with not that good of a roster, they ended up making the playoffs. What do you think of them?
I thought Brian Dable got the best out of that roster. I think he's a fantastic coach, definitely deserves Coach of the Year. And I think the Giants now, with the right guys at the front office, Shane's done a good job. Dable's done a good job. A few more guys bring in, whether it's the draft, free agency, I think they could really compete for a division title soon. They just got to be careful and manage their cap correctly.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the playoffs were quite a ride this season, including the Giants upsetting the Minnesota Vikings to win the first round. The Chiefs ending up going all the way to the Super Bowl, even without Tyreek Hill and without those pieces, and with Mahomes injured. And teams like the Miami Dolphins almost beating the Bills without even their starting quarterback. What did you think of this playoffs, Rocco?
The playoffs, Noah, were some of the best I've seen in a long time. I mean, like you said, the Giants, that upset win over the Vikings, I feel like a lot of people saw it coming, but the Giants, they executed perfectly. I mean, Daniel Jones, a career performance against Minnesota. Like, how many passing yards did he have? 350?
Yeah, something around that number.
Like, incredible. And for as much hate as he's gotten the last 4 years, I think Jones really played good this year, despite what the numbers say.
Yeah. And while on that, I mean, the Giants, they had receivers they signed from free agency mid-season who had stepped up, like wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins. I think he had like 150 yards that game.
Yeah, Hodgins, he's that dog. He's that guy. Yeah. I think Hodgins could really be the true number one receiver if he continues to develop and blossom into a real receiver.
Yeah. And also the Eagles dominating run, defeating every team in the NFC while only letting up 7 points to each of them. What do you think of that dominating run?
The Eagles this year were so fun to watch on all cylinders. I mean, the offense, all the firepower, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, too. Jalen Hurts is deadly with his legs. And the defense, don't get me started on that defense. Look at the front seven. Javon Hargrave, who recently went to the Niners, but he was huge in that run to the Super Bowl.
Definitely.
Fletcher Cox still getting it done. Brandon Graham, too. And how could you forget about the secondary? I mean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay played phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. And they even stumped the 49ers, who at that point, even with last overall pick in this year's draft, Brock Purdy, were still kind of favored to win that game against them.
Yeah, what the 49ers did this year, what Kyle Shanahan did this year with all the different quarterbacks, Lance going down, Garoppolo going down, going to Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant of this year's draft. I mean, you love to see it. It was a wonderful story. It's a shame that he didn't really have much of a chance against Philly.
Yeah. And it's also a shame that the Lions didn't make the playoffs because they had quite the fighting chance after coming back from having 2 wins, I think.
Yeah, I thought the Lions would honestly get in. Despite, it only took a Seahawks victory against the Rams in the last week of the season to knock them out of the playoffs. And after the Lions had, a really bad start, Dan Campbell rallied the troops, and they still finished above 500 at the season.
While we're on the topic of the playoffs, we got a chance to speak with a few students about their thoughts on the postseason. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
My pick to win the Super Bowl was the Buffalo Bills. My original pick was the Bengals. I was hoping Bengals versus 49ers at first, but it was the opposite of that.
The New York Giants were my pick to win the Super Bowl.
So this year's Super Bowl was quite the matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the stacked-up Philadelphia Eagles. And the Chiefs probably, I'd say, played their best game of football all year, even with an injured Patrick Mahomes. What do you think of that game?
I think it was the best Super Bowl out of the last 5 years. That's how far I'd go. The only quarterback better than Patrick Mahomes right now on one leg is Patrick Mahomes with 2 legs. And Mahomes on one leg still showed out on the biggest stage of the year.
Yeah.
All of the country's watching. People outside the country are watching. And Mahomes still got it done. Even while down 10 at the half. He never quit. It's becoming a common theme to not bet against Patrick Mahomes. Right now, he is the head of the table. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's the best player on the planet.
Yeah. But you do have to give your props to Jalen Hurts because he had probably his best game of the season as well.
I mean, Jalen Hurts, what a performance. It's a shame that only one team gets to walk with the Lombardi Trophy. But Hurts, he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He really proved himself that he's the Eagles franchise quarterback this year.
Yeah, and definitely. And on the Chiefs, Kelsey wasn't even the only one that stepped up. There were multiple other players. I think Valdez-Scantling made some big catches. Schuster caught fire in the second half. And, of course, 7th-round pick Isaiah Pacheco had quite the game.
Yeah, Pacheco, the way he runs through opposing teams' defenses, he runs like a bull. He goes from 0 to 100 within not even a second. And how could we not mention Kadarius Toney? I mean, that insane punt return to set up the Chiefs' touchdown, that would give them eventually the lead that would win.
Yeah.
And Toney made some really, really clutch catches. You see, when the Chiefs traded for Toney midway through the NFL season and got him from the Giants, Andy Reid knew exactly what to do with him. He just fits so perfectly in the Chiefs' offense. I think he could really be their true number 1.
Yeah, definitely. And on the topic of the Chiefs' offense, the Eagles' defense, they had quite the first half. They only let up about 14 points. Pretty good first half. And then Jonathan Gannon and that defense just collapsed in the second half. I mean, I think they gave up 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes, he woke up in the second half. Andy Reid is phenomenal when it comes to second half adjustments. The Chiefs are never out as long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. And it's not even the Eagles played bad. It's just the Chiefs always know how to play better when it comes down to the finish.
Yeah, definitely. So for the NFL Honors Awards, I feel like they got most of the awards correctly. With Patrick Mahomes at the MVP, obviously. Yeah. He runs the NFL at this point. Although I would have probably liked to see someone else at Offensive Rookie of the Year. Maybe Kenneth Walker. But I mean, Garrett Wilson, I feel as if was the good pick there.
Yeah, like Kenneth Walker definitely was a front runner, but I like Garrett Wilson winning because he had technically four different quarterbacks. I mean, Zach Wilson, who's looking like an all-time bust right now. You got Joe Flacco, who's at the end of his career, Mike White, who is nothing more than a backup, and practice squad CFL legend Chris Streveler. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks Garrett Wilson had, and he still put up over 1,200 receiving yards. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to be a problem next year for multiple NFL defenses. And for Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson, I feel as if in his third year, I think it is, he has become the best receiver in the NFL.
It's undisputed at this point, Noah. Justin Jefferson, the stuff that he does, it's ridiculous. I mean, you want to talk about the 4th and 18, was it? The 4th and 18 catch against the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah.
One-handed, arguably the best one-handed catch ever.
Yeah.
He's going to, in my opinion, I think he might break Megatron's record of 2,000 receiving yards in a season.
Yeah.
He's just that good. He might be a Triple Crown winner someday.
Yeah. And for teams that disappointed, I feel as if teams like the Cleveland Browns with star-studded rosters and a new quarterback definitely didn't succeed.
Yeah. Like, the Browns, obviously, Watson missed those 11 games, and they weren't really that far out of the playoffs, but they never really stood a chance to begin with Brissett under center. Yeah. And with the Browns recently acquiring Elijah Moore from the New York Jets, I think that Deshaun Watson, if he gets back into form, Cooper, Chubb, Moore, all receiving, I think the Browns could honestly make a run for the AFC North title.
Yeah. Now we're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, we will be talking about what may happen this offseason. Talk show. Now we are going to go over what is going to be happening this offseason. We're going to talk about players changing teams as well as the draft. We will also talk about players who retired this offseason as well as some early favorites to win the Super Bowl next year. For this offseason, I really feel as if this is a really star-studded free agent class. I mean, a bunch of positions of need for multiple teams and multiple good players going in there.
Yeah, like this offseason and the last couple of offseasons are looking to be utter chaos from what I've seen. I mean, you have superstars getting traded left and right, free agents going to places we never thought they'd even be at, and it's just phenomenal to see how a couple signings and a couple of drafts can just change anything.
Yeah, definitely. And for the upcoming free agents, this is a pretty good quarterback class, I'm not going to lie. Geno Smith just had a career year. Daniel Jones just had a career year. And Jimmy Garoppolo is not the greatest, but he's definitely someone who could work in an offense.
Yeah, and you also mentioned, like, Derek Carr going to the Saints and the Saints signing Jamal Williams. They actually don't have that bad of a team. They were kind of mid last year, but now you look at what they've got on this roster. Can Dennis Allen put it together? That's the question.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten better. So for potential trades, it seems as if Aaron Rodgers is going to get dealt. Lamar Jackson isn't too happy over there in Baltimore, but he has the option to seek trades now. And DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to get dealt because the Cardinals are looking to go in the tank.
I mean, yeah, it's looking more and more likely that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet. I mean, why else are they signing all these free agents operating like he's their quarterback? Rodgers changes the dynamic of the entire Jets franchise because not only do they become a Super Bowl contender with them, they become a legitimate Super Bowl favorite. And with Rodgers, it's just he changes the game so quickly.
Yeah, he's definitely quite the quarterback. Speaking of trades, we got a chance to interview a few students on a particular trade. Let's see what they think about Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to play for the New York Jets next year. You know, the Jets just met with him yesterday, and I think they have a good chance of picking him up. I don't know what the Packers are going to do, though.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in a New York Jets jersey for next season.
I think Aaron Rodgers will stick with the Packers next season.
So for the draft, this is, unlike last year, this is a very good quarterback class in terms of arm talent and just pure mechanical talent. And Other positions are star-studded too. Like we have a few good wide receivers and pretty good cornerback class, even with Ringo's stock dropping. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I really like this draft class. Bryce Young, people say he's undersized, but I think he's going to fit perfectly if he's with the right team. CJ Stroud, my QB1 of this draft as of right now. CJ Stroud, you look at his mechanics, he can throw. He's clutch, as we saw against Georgia in the college football playoff. And like you mentioned, Kaylee Ringo's stock falling, Christian Gonzalez draft stock rising. He might be a future top 5 corner one day because Christian Gonzalez has all the mechanics, speed, athleticism. He can tackle, he can intercept. Like, that's ridiculous for a guy like him.
Definitely a bunch of talent on that guy. So with retirements, a shocking one. Tom Brady finally going for about the second time, I think, to retirement.
Yeah.
And J.J. Watt, a legend in this game, retiring.
Yeah, I think most people expected this to be the last ride for Tom Brady. And although it was pretty underwhelming, it's just when you see he wasn't making those comebacks like he used to, you knew something was different. So, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time, undisputed. He's got nothing else left to prove at this point in his career. So he can go live peacefully. The league's in good hands with these quarterbacks. And J.J. Watt, in my opinion, I think he should have won at least one MVP 2014, but still got a Hall of Fame resume, and we should be very grateful for what he's done for the game.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best to do it defensively. So for next year, the early favorites for the Super Bowl, I honestly think the Chiefs are still up there. I think the Eagles have fallen a little bit, but they're still there at the point where they can make a run. And I think the Cowboys have made some pretty good moves this offseason.
Yeah, the Cowboys, I think, will win the NFC East next year. And it's all about if Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy can put it together and finally just unite as one. Because the Cowboys just got Gilmore. Now their defense is looking good, and so is their offense. It always will be. For favorites, I think, obviously, like you said, the Chiefs are still up there because Mahomes, Reed, Kelsey, But I don't see Buffalo reaching that level anymore. I think Miami and the New York Jets have just passed them in terms of talent, and I think they're just overall better run teams at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. They've made some really good moves, including Jalen Ramsey. That is all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed our thoughts and opinions on the 2022-2023 NFL season, as well as this upcoming offseason. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time on the NFL Talk Show.
Hello, and welcome to the NJL Talk Show. My name is Ben Heltzer, and I'm here with Noah Muller. And today, we will discuss topics about the NFL, from the draft, Super Bowl, awards, and our thoughts on the upcoming season. So, Noah, there's a lot of good prospects in this year's draft, but only one of them can be the number 1 overall pick. Who do you think it's going to be?
I truly think that the Panthers like Anthony Richardson most out of any other quarterback in this draft class. I mean, they've met with him multiple times, and Frank Reich has talked about how much he loves his game. I truly think if he goes there, that Frank Reich can help develop him and become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC and in the NFL.
I agree. I mean, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are both great talents, but, I mean, Anthony Richardson, it seems like the Panthers are going to go with him.
Yeah, definitely.
There have been a bunch of trades so far this offseason, but a big one hasn't even happened yet, but it's Lamar Jackson talking about wanting to leave the Ravens. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so the Falcons have just come out and say they don't want him, so that takes away what everyone thought was going to be the one team that was going to go out and get him. So he's really in a position here where there's not much he can do because there's no teams really in a bidding war for him yet, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so it's just kind of got to wait for it.
Definitely. I mean, if he can't find a team, he's going to play for the Ravens because they did franchise tag him.
Yeah.
So, speaking of next season, there's some teams that are going to be really good next season. I mean, I think the Bears have a shot with, Justin Fields developed and the Lions too. I mean, who do you think is going to be like a standout team next season?
I truly think next year is the Jaguars and the Lions' years. I mean, they've waited so long to have a good team. Jacksonville, not so long because they did have the Saxonville team back in 2017, 2018. But still both these teams have been waiting 5+ years, and truly they have good young squads. The Jaguars even made it to the divisional last year, but I truly think they can both win their divisions and both make it far in the playoffs.
Definitely. I think next season is their time. Going back to last season, the NFL honors. A lot of the awards, I think they got a lot of them right. I mean, they're all kind of obvious, but what are your thoughts on them?
So I think most of them were pretty right. I mean, Offensive Rookie of the Year was debatable, but I think Garrett Wilson truly deserved it because of how many bad quarterbacks he had to play with. But yeah, I really didn't have any issue with the players they gave the awards to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all of them were 100% deserving of earning the awards. And staying on the topic of last season, the Super Bowl. I mean, Chiefs, Eagles, two best teams in the NFL without a doubt. What are your thoughts on the game?
I think that was truly one of the best Super Bowls that we have ever seen. I mean, it was an offensive battle until the end. The first half was kind of lousy, I feel as if, because both defenses were playing very well. And it was kind of just a close game the whole game. Of course, the Eagles' defense exploded completely in the second half. Yeah, I truly think that was a great game. And I think next year, I think the Jaguars go to the Super Bowl, but I think they lose, and I think the Eagles will win it next year. What do you think?
I can see that. I mean, my prediction, I'm going to play it a little safe. I have Bengals 49ers with the developed Brock Purdy. I have no idea who's going to win, though. But yeah, that's my matchup. Speaking of the Super Bowl, we had a chance to ask some of the Wayne Hills High School students about who they think will win the Super Bowl next season. Let's take a look.
Who am I here with today? My name is Haroon Ganser.
Okay, Haroon, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl, I'm going to go with a hot take. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Who am I here with today?
Jake Minardi.
Okay, Jake Bernardi, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
Cincinnati Bengals.
Andrew Pierce.
Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl next season?
The New York Jets.
Welcome back. Stay with us because after we come back, we're going to go over more topics about the NFL. Welcome back. Now we're going to still be talking about all things NFL, including our next topic about who's the GOAT. I mean, the greatest quarterback of all time. There's a lot of people to choose from, but who do you think it is?
I think this goes easily to Tom Brady. I mean, people have been saying it for the last generation, and nothing has really changed. The guy was still winning Super Bowls at like 42. I think not so far behind him, Peyton Manning is there. And then, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, and the list keeps going. But I think Tom Brady, undisputed right now, is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, Tom Brady, what he's done in his career is insane. I mean, his 20s, 30s, and 40s, if they were all separate careers, you could argue that they were Hall of Fame careers just by themselves, which is insane.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to talk about another big trade that happened, which is the Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins. What do you think of that?
I think that was an absolute fleece for the Dolphins. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, even coming off a bad year with the Rams, he is a world-class talent at the position in which he plays. And for a third-round pick and a third-string tight end, I just feel as if it shouldn't even have been approved by the commissioner. I feel like that's just a super bad trade for the Rams. What do you think?
Definitely. I mean, the Dolphins gave up practically nothing for him, and him and Xavier Howard is going to be a deadly cornerback duo next season. Now we're going to go to coaching. We're going to talk about coaching. There's a lot of good and bad coaches in the league, but who do you think stands out as the best and worst coach?
So I think definitely the best, I would have to go with Andy Reid currently. I mean, Belichick has the history, but I mean, Reid just put on such a great coaching performance in the Super Bowl, especially offensively with the plays in which he and Bieniemy drew up. But I think the worst coach, honestly, I think that have to go to Lovie Smith when he was with the Texans, because he was supposed to be such a good defensive mind. I feel like all he was running was cover 3. So, not a very good coach.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Andy Reid, what he was able to do with Mahomes on one leg in the Super Bowl down 10 was insane in that second half. And, I mean, Belichick has the history, but right now I'll definitely give it to Andy Reid. Another position we're moving on to is the wide receiver position. I mean, there are a lot of great guys, a lot of young talent at the wide receiver position right now, but who do you think stands out among the rest?
I think Justin Jefferson definitely stands out of all of these wide receivers. I mean, he, ever since his rookie year, has just been such an amazing player. I mean, coming up big expectations into the Vikings organization to be the next Randy Moss of that organization. He's definitely stepped up to the challenge, and I really think at the end of his career, he could finish up as one of, if not the greatest receiver of all time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, all those guys are great, but Justin Jefferson is the clear standout. I mean, what he was able to do this past season was insane, and I don't think he's stopping anytime soon. So for next season, I mean, there were a lot of underdog teams this past season. I mean, the Lions almost making the playoffs, the Jags making it to the divisional round. Who do you think are going to be those teams next season that just kind of come out of nowhere?
So I definitely think one of those teams could be the Tennessee Titans, because even though last year they should have made it, but of course the injury of Ryan Tannehill and Joshua Dobbs, of course, coming in really screwed them. But I really think they are a decent built-up roster, and I think they could make a run. I also think the New York Giants, even though they made the playoffs this year, I feel like everyone is still placing them third in the division, and some people are even placing them out of the playoffs. I mean, I feel as if it's just ridiculous because of the amount of moves they made this offseason, such as Bobby Okereke, Darren Waller, etc. I mean, it's just such a great organization.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely make it back there. I mean, I think the Bears are going to be insane next year. I mean, Justin Fields is going to be more developed, and they have DJ Moore now. I mean, if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, they could be great next year. But yeah, I think there will be a lot of teams that surprise us next year. We had the chance to talk to some of the students of Wayne Hills High School about the NFL, and let's see what they had to say.
All right, who am I here with? Andrew Pierce.
All right, who is the best QB of all time?
Tom Brady.
Why?
He's the GOAT. 7 rings.
Who am I here with?
Jake Minardi.
All right, how do you feel about the Jalen Ramsey trade?
That's pretty crazy for the Dolphins because now they got him and Xavier Howard, so it's pretty good.
Here with?
Harun Genser.
All right, who is the best receiver right now?
Best receiver in the NFL, give me Devontae Smith.
And that's a wrap on the NJL Talk Show. Tune in next week for the episode to talk about sports worldwide.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Noah Muller, and today we'll be discussing the new coaching hires, the 2023 NFL Draft, and NFL free agency possibilities. So first, Rocco, I want to talk about the Colts hiring former Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen. What do you think of that?
I mean, Noah, I think it's a good hire for the Colts. I mean, obviously Frank Reich got fired. Jeff Saturday was just a temporary Band-Aid on the ship. But I think what Steichen brings to the table, whoever the quarterback is going to be for the Colts, whether it's going to be Stroud, Young, Richardson, Levis, I think it's going to really benefit Indianapolis that they could defend him. That they could develop him the way like they can. And Steichen, I think, was really beneficial in Jalen Hurts' third-year breakout or second-year breakout as a starter. And I think with Steichen, the Colts really, in a weak AFC South, they could make a run for the division title because here's my thing. I'm not entirely sold on the Jaguars being anything higher than a 4 seed at this point if they win a division. I mean, the AFC is just so stacked.
Yeah, definitely. And also, another Eagles coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, hired to the Arizona Cardinals, their former defensive coordinator. What did you think of that, Rocco?
I mean, As long as he knows how to completely keep a team intact, then I guess it'll be a good hire for the Cardinals. But in all seriousness, I think it's a great hire for the Cardinals. Like what Jonathan Gannon, what he brings to the table too. The Cardinals are they've been a mess for the last 2 years, in my opinion, even when they were 8-0 last year. Like, Kyler Murray's going to be out for a majority of the season. They might move off from Kyler Murray next year, and Gannon might want a new quarterback. It's a new regime and a new scheme. I think the Cardinals are in good hands with Gannon.
Yeah, I'm more so excited to see that defense in a few years. And now to the NFL draft. Bryce Young, who was undoubtedly the best prospect, and then down came Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, and all these other quarterbacks. What is your standpoint on Bryce Young right now?
I mean, people say he's small, and I get that. I think Young is still a top 2 quarterback in this draft class. For me, I think he is the best quarterback in this draft class. Forget about being top 2, but Stroud is still a fantastic prospect for anyone who wants to take a chance on him. And Richardson, as good as he can be, Anthony Richardson's still very raw. So he's going to need to fall into the right coaching staff and the right regime to be a good quarterback in this league. And what Bryce does on the field, it's awesome. You see he evades the pocket, gets out of pressure, can throw the ball at will, and it's just he's fun to watch.
Yeah. It's just going to be very concerning if he goes to a team like the Texans, who are underdeveloped.
Oh, God help him at that point.
And just who we were talking about, Anthony Richardson, probably one of the most athletic quarterbacks in combine history, and now projected first overall pick to the Panthers. What do you think of him?
Oh, I don't know if I could really agree with him going first. I'd like to see him go maybe 10th, a little later, a little earlier. But to see him going number 1, they better have the right coaching staff around him, Carolina. And I think Frank Reich is the good coach, the right coach for that. Richardson, like you said, he's one of the most athletic prospects for a quarterback in combine history, and he's really raw. So the Colts have to make sure that he's got protection and that he's got receivers down the line. I mean, Richardson can run, pass, he could do it all, really. He's got to put it together. He reminds me of Josh Allen. They're roughly the same size, and they both got similar playmaking abilities.
Yeah. I feel as if he's definitely more elusive, though. He beats him in that category. On that note, we were able to ask people what they thought about the first overall pick would be. Let's see what they said.
I think Bryce Young is going to be the first pick in the draft this year.
Honestly, I think the Bears are going to take Will Anderson Jr., a pass rusher from Alabama.
All right, thank you.
I think the Colts will end up taking Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick.
Now I want to talk about probably one of the more crucial players in free agency, Derek Carr, former quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders, released in the last weeks of the NFL season for newcomer Jarrett Stidham for the Raiders. He signed with the Saints. What do you think of that move for New Orleans?
I think it's a great move for New Orleans. I mean, the team's not bad. They got Chris Olave, who in my opinion should have been an Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate, and Jarvis Landry. Is Landry still with the Saints, or is he a free agent?
I believe he's still with the Saints.
All right, well, anyways, if Alvin Kamara could stay out of jail for more than 2 weeks, then I guess the Saints are in a good position to succeed with Derek Carr, because Carr could still play. He's durable, he's healthy, and I think he's a good quarterback. There was a lot of rumors saying that he would sign with the Jets. Obviously, that didn't happen because they're going for Rodgers, but it's good for the Saints. They could really win the NFC South in my eyes.
Yeah, I feel as if it was definitely more of a coaching problem down in Vegas rather than a player problem for Derek Carr. Yeah. That is all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed everything in which we covered today on the 2-Minute Drill.
My name is Matthew Palfonte, and I am joined by my friend Tarek Suleiman in the show The Palfonte Pantry.
So, Matt,
yes.
Do you usually eat breakfast, or do you not eat breakfast?
No, not often.
Really? How come?
Don't have time in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
bus comes early, you know?
Yeah, bus comes early?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I got to make the bus, whatever, 6. Bus comes at 6:50, and, for me, in the morning,
yeah.
I don't know how people eat breakfast in the morning.
I mean, maybe I'll have a glass of orange juice every once in a while, but...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. So, Matt, in regards to food, so what's your favorite food, nationality-wise? Like
nationality-wise, I mean,
Italian food.
I'm a big fan of Mexican food, honestly. You know, like
Mexican
tacos or nachos.
Tacos, nachos.
Yeah.
Nice. What type of meat do you like usually when you're eating? You like chicken?
I
or-
like chicken, yeah. I'm a
Nice.
big fan of chicken. I like steak sometimes.
I agree. I think that
Yeah.
some Mexican food has some really nice steak that they make.
Yeah.
So what else do you like with your food? Like when it comes to sides or like condiments, you like ketchup, mayonnaise, hot sauce.
I'm not the biggest fan of ketchup, but I'll have some ketchup with some fries.
Yeah.
Or onion rings, you know.
All right. So in regards to Mexican food,
Yes.
you like guac or salsa? This is a big question. You know, people have been always, everyone
Yeah.
got to know. What's
You know,
your favorite?
I'm more of a salsa fan.
Really?
I'm not really a big fan of guac that much.
I feel like,
but
I feel like, when it comes to guac, you can eat it almost any time. Salsa, I
Yeah.
feel like you gotta have this certain
True.
time.
True.
All right, when we talk about tacos, you like hard or soft shell tacos?
I personally like hard shell tacos, but
Yeah?
sometimes I'll put a hard shell in a soft shell and eat it like both. but-
Palfante trick, I like.
Yeah.
And last thing, you like Chipotle or Moe's? This is a question that, very controversial. Personally
Yeah.
for me, I'm a big Moe's guy. I know, I don't like to ruffle any feathers here, but I think Moe's is the way. What about you?
That's tough. I don't really like. I think I would say Moe's. I think I would agree with you on Moe's.
Because, they both claim to be
Yeah.
Mexican food and, they're
Yeah.
along the lines of Mexican. I don't know how authentic, but, definitely.
I feel like Moe's is a little more like Mexican.
I
than-
agree. All right. So, next up, fast food.
Yeah.
We love fast food.
I
but,
love fast food.
We
Can't-
got the big names. We got the Wendy's, we got the Burger King, we got the Mickey D's. What's number one for you? Mickey D's or Wendy's, or which one?
I like Mickey D's. I would say Mickey D's is a safe option.
You can never go wrong with Mickey D's, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You never go wrong. 2 a.m. drive with the
yeah.
guys. Just quick little stop. I think I'm probably gonna have to agree with you here because again, you can never go wrong with Mickey
can't-
D's. But
yeah.
what in specific you like? What burger?
Burger? I like the number 7.
What's that?
Huh?
I don't know the numbers. This guy
Me
knows the
neither.
numbers. So what is it?
Huh? It's kind of like what is it? Like a chicken burger?
Oh, like a spicy chicken sandwich?
Yeah, a
Or
spicy chicken
spicy
sandwich.
or
That's
no
what it
spicy?
is. Yeah.
Oh,
I like
okay.
it spicy.
Nice.
I like my food spicy. Good.
I think for me personally, I'd have to go with the quarter pounder.
Oh, quarter
It's
pounder?
just simple,
Yeah.
you can never go wrong with it. And last thing, when it
Yeah.
regards to fast food, also a very controversial topic. What is your favorite type of fries? We got the curly, we got the normal. There's many types. We got the Chick-fil-A, the waffle fry. What's your go-to fry?
I think I'm just gonna go with classic fries. The
Crinkle.
classic.
Oh, just classic,
Classic,
normal.
yeah.
Okay, not crinkle,
No
right?
crinkle
I
cut.
thought you were gonna
No,
say crinkle.
no.
Alright,
I don't like
alright.
the crinkle cuts.
You don't like crinkle, not even with like a
No.
little burger.
What about
nothing?
you?
I mean, for me, like specifically a place, it's got to be Popeyes. Their fries
Yeah.
is
Oh,
the best.
Popeyes are the best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm a fan of Taco Bell fries as well.
Oh yeah. You're right. All right, so on our next topic, we got beverages.
Yes.
What for you is your favorite soda?
I don't like soda.
You don't like soda?
No.
Me neither. Yeah. No. It's that fizziness is not my go-to. But we all got the normal, the OG. We got
Yeah.
water, right?
I like water. Yeah.
So water over everything, like
Water over.
Gatorade.
I
and everything?
mean, yeah. Most of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
No sweetener, lemonade, nothing like that.
I mean, I could go for a lemonade sometimes.
Yeah?
Lemonade iced tea. But for most part, it's water.
So what about when you're doing an activity like a sports drink? What's your go-to sports drink?
Water.
Water?
Yes.
That's great. It's the best.
Uh-huh.
No.
Keeps you hydrated. It does the job.
What about your favorite electrolyte drink, like Powerade,
Oh.
Gatorade Prime?
I like Gatorade. I like either Gatorade or Powerade.
Powerade?
Yeah.
Or Gatorade? I think I'm gonna have to go with Gatorade. It's really sweet, but delicious. All right. For our last segment here, what about desserts, Matt?
I don't like desserts.
You don't like desserts?
No.
How often do you eat dessert?
Maybe once every 2 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I see you, Matt.
Well, every time I go to my grandmother's house, I have to have
Oh,
ice
yeah.
cream
Oh,
because
grandma always
always
spoils you,
makes
right? Yeah.
grandma always makes the best ice cream.
Grandma always making.
But yeah.
So, ice cream's your favorite?
Yeah.
Of all desserts?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes.
What specific ice cream? What flavor?
I'm a big fan of chocolate. I don't know
Chocolate?
about
Just
you,
plain
but
chocolate?
yeah.
Like, I'm more of a mixed guy. I
Like the swirl.
I like the swirl. I like the sherbet. I don't know. Hot take. Not a lot of people like
Yeah.
the sherbet. I like the sherbet. Also for me, you can never go wrong with cookies and cream.
True.
Simply, it's the OG. It's simple. Just
Yeah.
my opinion, it's the best.
Well, let's go to the hallway to see what other students think about this topic.
Hello, Matt. I usually don't on school days, but on the weekends I do.
And what do you eat on the weekends?
On the weekends, I like pancakes.
Pancakes? Nice. Thank you. Do you eat breakfast in the morning?
No, not usually.
Why?
I don't feel like it.
Thank you.
Hey, Matt.
Do you eat breakfast in the morning?
Most of the time I do eat breakfast in the morning.
What do you eat?
Sometimes I'll keep it easy. I'll eat a banana, might have a bowl of cereal, Captain Crunch, and that's really what I eat in the morning because I'd keep it the same.
Nice. Thank you. Watching the Palafonte Pantry, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome to the Premier Show, where I, Tarek Silman, and Rocco Coppola discuss the current state of the Premier League, the transfer market, and the current intense race for first place. Stay tuned as we are going to get right into our first topic. So, Rocco, we saw this Premier League begin with a lot of big transfers. One of the biggest ones has to be Haaland to Man City, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Erling Haaland from Norway, he's just a goal-scoring machine. The guy came out of a lab.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What he's been putting up this year is it's absolutely crazy. He's on track to, I think, beating the goal score record for a single season. And from Dortmund, everyone was like, let's see how he's gonna be in the Premier League. From going from the Bundesliga, not the best league, but he's proven to everyone that he's it. He's really up there, and he's made such an incredible impact. And another big transfer we saw, not too big of a transfer, but a big impact, had to be Jorginho to Arsenal.
Yeah, the Italian midfielder. Jorginho is still a good player, and I know he's been having a bit of a rough patch after Italy failed to qualify for the World Cup with his missed penalties, but he's still a good player, and Arsenal has been working out. It's been working out very well for him.
It has, yeah. But you're right, though. He hasn't been in the form that he usually is ever since that sad ending. But also, as you saw, Liverpool had finally they bought someone. No one could replace Sadio Mane, but they saw Darwin Nunez. I think they spent over 65 million for him. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's worth it. Darwin Nunez is, in my opinion, the next face of Uruguayan football. Like, Luis Suarez is pretty much done. Edinson Cavani pretty much done. And Nunez, whenever he's hot, he's pretty difficult to stop. And I mean, you saw that in the very brief time he had in the FIFA World Cup this year. He's just a fantastic footballer.
He is. He's strong. He's big, and he's really fast. And lastly, we saw also another big money move. Anthony going to Manchester United. What do you think, Rocco?
I think it benefits Manchester United very well. Despite everybody saying they were pretty much done after Ronaldo left, they've been pretty good, to say the very least. And I think Anthony only helps them out even further.
I had to agree. When Ronaldo left, a lot of them, they were doubting Man U, especially for kicking out Ronaldo, pretty much. And but no, we saw Anthony, very skilled young guy, and I feel like he's fitting in with the squad really well.
Definitely.
Speaking about Man U, let's hear what one of their supporters have to say on how they think Man United will finish this season.
I have a strong feeling that Man U is going to finish top 3 this season, even though Arsenal are first and Man City are up above them 4 or 5 points. But we need that top 3 or top 4 spot for Champions League.
Welcome back to the Premier Show, where now we will be discussing Chelsea's incredible flop and what a horrible season they're having. Rocco, what do you think?
I mean, can you name a bigger downfall from a very recent Champions League winner? I mean, Chelsea, despite losing Jorginho, they still have a nice squad, but it's incredible and sad to see how far they've fallen.
It is, yeah.
What's going on? What are they doing?
They go from winning the Champions League till the real problem, in my opinion, was when they got rid of their owner, Abramovich because he's a Russian owner, and as we know, it's not allowed. And yeah, I think that was one of the major downfalls. And right now they're in 10th place. Big bummer. Like we're not even talking about any European competition. This is looking really bad, Rocco.
Yeah, I mean, it was, in my opinion, the right move to get rid of the manager, or the owner, rather. Sometimes you pay the price even for making the necessary decisions.
I agree. And one of the biggest problems also is they're not able to keep a manager. They went from Tuchel to a few managers. I'm sure we saw before. And right now, their new manager, these guys, they don't know what to do. No one's working for them. What should they do going forward?
You got to find the right guy. And if you can't find the right manager, you have two options. You tear down the club, or the team, rather, with the players, or you get a new front office.
Absolutely. I think it's just a matter of time before he's going to be out. And moving on to our next topic here, it's, Liverpool, also a team that we expect to make Champions League, expected that top four, but they've been struggling. And one of the main struggles of not making top four, I think, has to be, not having Sadio Mane.
Yeah, Mane's a fantastic footballer, and in my opinion, he's Senegal's best player. And he was fun to watch this year's Champions League last year. Liverpool, they still got good players like Mohamed Salah. He's still very good, and he's been really good as of recent. And it's a shame because Liverpool, they're not what they used to be. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp is still staying there because he's a fantastic manager. But to see some of these European giants just collapse so quickly, it's disturbing. I mean, Liverpool, Chelsea, Juventus, even with all the scandals over in Serie A, it's like Van Dijk, he can't stay healthy.
Yes,
on the pitch, he's a monster, but you gotta make a decision if you really think he should stick around long term.
That's their problems. Injuries, a lot of their problems. We saw Van Dijk get injured, and we saw the midfielders, Thiago, get injured. A lot of injuries has been really messing up this unfortunate squad. I'm a big Liverpool fan, it sucks to say, but I hope they make top four. And, next up is probably one of the bigger stories we've heard recently is Man City breaking the financial rules and possibly going to get hit with a big penalty. It's crazy.
Yeah, what else is new with them?
We've seen them, before. They talked about possibly, excluding them from the Champions League because they broke over 100 financial rules from over the span of 8 years. So, this is something crazy.
The fact they got away with that for 8 years is ridiculous. I mean, I thought, Man City was, a loyal and good front office with real people. And when I say real people, I mean people that know how to manage and play the game properly, build a squad properly. It just disrespects the game by doing this. Man
Absolutely.
City has all the talent in the world, and they're arguably the favorite to win the Champions League. And now there's a chance we might not see them in it again for a while.
I mean, who knows? Right now we see a big court case coming up. They got the best lawyers you could think of on earth. And, that's what we see. The problems rise within these past few years when these big countries like Qatar, the Emirates, and recently Saudi, they buy these companies, or they buy these teams, and they've put billions into them. And, this is just a product of, one of these teams that we've seen. And who knows for the future how this will affect them. I think you've heard enough for us on the take of Man City. And let's hear what one of the peers in Wayne Hills have to say about Man City.
Well, honestly, I think they've been playing really terribly. I think they're pretty frauds. It's pretty obvious they're actually using oil for their profits. I mean, terrible. They've been a terrible soccer team so far.
Let's take a look at what a student in the hallway has to say about who they think will win the Premier League.
I think Arsenal's going to win. I think Man City and Man United are all the way in the back, and they have no chance of winning. Arsenal have all the youngsters and all the youth, and yeah, they're going to win.
Welcome back to the Premier Show with myself and Rocco. And right now, Rocco, in our last segment, I think it's we cannot forget to talk about the most important thing, which is the race of the Premier League title. Arsenal, they might, win this Premier League, and, they haven't won since 2004, and they're up by 9 points, Rocco. What do you think?
I love it. I mean, Bukayo Saka is a fantastic player. England has a gem in Bukayo Saka. He's young. He's awesome. And I think he's really grown a lot after missing his penalty against Italy in the Euro 2020 final. Saka, the stuff that he does on the pitch is incredible. It's so fun to watch. I mean, how can you not like the guy?
No, I agree. Saka, young guy, 19, 20 years old. He's really made a name for himself this year. And I just really can't wait to see what this young Arsenal squad, because I think the average age is less than 25. And, these guys, they have so much potential. And I feel like Man City has won it too much. Really too many. Honestly, I don't like either teams, but Man City has won it way too many times. So I really wouldn't hurt to see Arsenal win for once in a while.
Yeah, the young and hungry are always the most dangerous ones.
Yeah. But you think Man City has a possibility of catching up? 9 points and only 10 games left. You think there's a chance?
I got news for you, Tarek. I think Man City's dead in the water.
Wow.
Until further notice.
Think so?
I think it's Arsenal's league to win, and I think they could be a real Champions League contender down the line.
Well, that's about it for this week's episode of the Premier Show. We will continue our hot discussion next week with some even hotter topics. That's all for now, and we hope to see you all next week.
The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Philadelphia Eagles to win Super Bowl 57 as the 2022-23 NFL season concludes. But we got an exciting offseason ahead of us. Rocco Coppola and Nolan Muller, happy to have you with us on The Chosen One. Let's hit it and get it started. So Noah, we saw a fantastic duel for the ages between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the matchup that was on paper, and boy, did they deliver.
I thought it was a heck of a game. The two best teams easily in each conference. And, it wasn't even just Mahomes and Hurts that had the games of their lives. You had players like Pacheco. You had Nick Bolton with almost 2 fumble recovery touchdowns on a debatable call.
Yeah, Bolton was a real game changer that day.
Yeah, definitely. And even the small receivers on the Chiefs, like Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, got involved for the first time in their seasons.
Yeah, you love to see how Mahomes, his receiving core got noticeably worse. He lost Tyreek Hill in free agency to the Miami Dolphins in a trade, and now he's going to the Super Bowl, best record in the conference with Juju, MVS, and even Kadarius Toney in a trade.
Yeah,
it's awesome to see.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got the news on the Pat McAfee show that Aaron Rodgers intended to be traded to the New York Jets. And what are your thoughts on that? Does this make the Jets a Super Bowl contender? Does it make them a force?
I think they need one more piece to become a Super Bowl contender, but I definitely think they can make a run at the championship this year. My one concern is how much they paid for Rodgers, because obviously he only has 2 or 3 years left in him because of his age. But I'd say if they gave him a first and a second, I'd have no issue with it. But if it's 2 firsts, it'd be a debatable trade.
Yeah, from what I'm hearing, it's looking like it won't even be a first-round pick involved, which, in my opinion, regardless of his age, it's still a big win for the Jets.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think Rodgers just really changes the entire direction of where the franchise is going. Takes all that young players and just brings them to competitive football. You love to see it.
Yeah, especially with the young receiving core, going to learn a lot from him.
Yeah, Rodgers knows how to make everyone around him better.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Jets, I figured we would touch on that incredible draft class they had, as well as the Seattle Seahawks, too. Both franchises, both front offices, both general managers, A-plus draft classes. They were all home runs, just about every pick that they both had.
Yeah. Every player, looking back at it, the 3 players the Jets drafted in the first round all had huge impacts. Garrett Wilson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Jermaine Johnson even had a huge effect on the team and how they did.
Yeah, and he was struggling to find any spot to fill on the defensive line because it was so stacked, but he was still good. And how could we even forget about Breece Hall? Until he tore his ACL, the guy was awesome. And I figured with Breece Hall, we'd also mention who was the Offensive Rookie of the Year favorite and didn't win, Kenneth Walker. Awesome. Kenneth Walker, Charles Cross, these guys that the Seahawks got were awesome. And how could we not mention Tariq Woolen? A 5th-round steal? Are you kidding me? That's awesome. He's going to be a future top 5 corner with his size and speed. It's scary to opposing receivers.
Yeah, you could argue he's a top 7, 8 corner already, and his career just got started. You also have players who haven't even come into their own yet, like Abraham Lucas, the right tackle, and just players like that they got in later rounds and stole from other teams, frankly.
Yeah, Seattle are reopening their Super Bowl window soon, regardless if Geno's their long-term quarterback or not. It's just, you love to see it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man. So, free agency recently just got started, and we've already seen a couple of blockbuster trades. What are your thoughts? I mean, yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo signing with the Raiders. You have obviously Aaron Rodgers making his decision to intend on playing for the Jets. And obviously Jalen Ramsey to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, definitely. And also a few other trades like DJ Moore and all those picks going to the Bears for the first overall. And Darren Waller going to the New York Giants for a third-round pick. I think this has been quite the offseason so far, I would say, because the amount of trades that have been really good players going to other teams to prove themselves, it's just been really good for teams.
Yeah, I think Waller's going to fit really nicely with the Giants offense. Brian Daboll is a fantastic coach. He deserves Coach of the Year, and I think he's destined for good things. Jalen Ramsey, I think, could be a great fit in the Miami defense. Now they just hired Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator. He's never had a defense that wasn't top 5. Let that sink in for a second. It's awesome. And with the Bears getting that huge haul from the Panthers, I don't know if I like that from Carolina trading up. You were still going to get a quarterback regardless. I'm hearing Richardson might be going number 1 overall, which I think that's a big reach if you're Carolina.
Yeah, and now the number 1 option is Adam Thielen because DJ Moore has gone in that trade. I don't know why they would have traded him. I mean, you're not giving your quarterback a number 1 option at this point.
They're only helping Justin Fields out.
Really?
So, speaking of those draft picks, I wanted to get your thoughts on maybe a little mini big board or some of your best prospects. In my opinion, I think Bryce Young's still the best quarterback despite his size and people doubting him. And I really, really, really like Quentin Johnson.
I'd have to say my favorite prospect in this draft class is probably C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from Ohio State, because I feel like mechanically he's the best setup quarterback in this draft. I mean, you watch back that game, Georgia-Ohio State in the first round of the College National Championship playoffs. He was able to escape the pocket. He was able to stay in the pocket. He was dropping dimes everywhere to Marvin Harrison and his other receivers.
Yeah, we know he's got clutch in his veins for sure. People were never sold on Ohio State quarterbacks, but I feel like with Justin Fields now starting to piece it together, and I think he's poised for a breakout year, I think teams are really going to take their chance on C.J. Stroud, and with good reason. Stroud's a very polished prospect, and he's a safer bet than Anthony Richardson because Richardson's very raw, and so is Will Levis.
Yeah. And without even explaining all the trouble he's gotten into, I still think Jalen Carter is the purely best option for defense in this draft class.
Yeah, you just got to hope that he stays out of trouble now because he is such a fantastic player. And Will Anderson, too.
Yeah, they could be real leaders for an NFL defense. I mean, this is a legit draft, and teams have to be careful with who they choose.
You're right. Now we got an opportunity to speak to some students at Wayne Hills for their thoughts on the NFL. Let's take a look.
I'm here with Nick Matarazzo.
Nick, who's going to win the Super Bowl next year and why?
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers because they have amazing talent everywhere. Amazing QB, amazing defense, everything.
I'm here with
Matt.
Matt, who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
I think the best quarterback in the NFL right now is, everybody knows, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes won not only the Super Bowl, but he also got the MVP award. So I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
I'm here with
Jack Montessor.
Jack, who's the greatest quarterback in NFL history?
I think this should be everyone's answer. You know, he's the GOAT. I got to go with Tom Brady, you know, most reliable, especially when he has to clutch up.
That's going to do it for us here on The Chosen One. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Nick Taveras, and welcome to the Tech News Station. Today, we're going to be talking about Minecraft gameplay, from mob votes to combat update, and everything in between that got us to where we are today. I'm here with my friend Rocco. Okay. Hi. So, did you see the most recent mob votes? What do you think about them? Personal opinion.
I think it's a little bit of like a mix in between. Like, I like some of the votes, and I like a little bit I don't. Because some of them just don't make sense to me.
I get what you're saying, yeah. I mean, I really like the adding of the sniffer because now it goes more with the new update, the forgot what update it was, but most recent update, it helps a lot with that one. Have you been caught up with the lore by any chance?
As of recent, I haven't gotten the chance to give it a shot, but I heard it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Game Theory made a bunch of videos on them and just very in depth about what's going on. What about the combat update? Were you around when that first came around?
Yeah, I've always loved combat in the game of Minecraft, especially when I was playing online all those years ago. Combat, I think, adds just a lot to the game, and it makes things more exciting. Like, it's a hardcore survival game if you're playing like that, and to be the last one standing, it always just like stuck out to me,
It does. It really just gives you a rush of adrenaline. But something that I'm kind of weirded out about is the fact that it did it for Java, but not Bedrock. Like, there wasn't really a combat update for Bedrock.
I mean, I would just like update both of them. I'm more of a Java guy myself, but with Bedrock, I think you could definitely add that to it because overall, I think it needs more like atmosphere. And what I mean by atmosphere is like a better scenery when you're doing combat. You want to make sure like the weapons are good, the scenery, like I just said, is good, and the armor, obviously.
Yeah, me personally, I'm definitely more of a Bedrock person because I grew up on that. I was always a console person as a kid. So you said that you prefer Java more than Bedrock?
Mm-hmm.
Just why exactly?
Just from my experience, I've never really... Actually, I take this back. I liked playing Xbox Minecraft when I was younger, but as like I got older and got a PC, obviously, I tested Java out and I thought it just ran so much better. Like I could install mods for myself too. And overall, I think Java just makes the experience a lot better for me.
Yeah, I mean, I tried out Java one time or another, but it wasn't really my thing. Much more of console person, no matter what I'm doing. But I mean, since we really can't appear to come up with a conclusion, we'll both let's ask a couple of people what they thought about the topic, and let's see what their response is in the hallway.
I prefer Java because the PvP is better, and also you can't just speed bridge like crazy.
I'm much rather Java. It is more interesting than Bedrock. Bedrock is more simple than Minecraft players, but mostly, if you think about it, it's all about the player's mind. Either or, it's all about your opinion.
Personally, I think Minecraft Bedrock is better just because ever since I was a kid and I first picked up an Xbox controller, I grew up on Bedrock. So I've always had a special place in my heart for the game.
Don't leave just yet. Right now, we'll send it to another part of our team, Sam Morales, where he'll go into more detail about the mob votes.
Welcome to the industry. We're your hosts, Sophia and Montion, and today we will be discussing different songs and artists in the music industry.
Okay, so starting off our conversation, music genres.
Yes.
What is your favorite music genre?
I have to say, my favorite music genre is definitely, I have to say, like, it's kind of hard because I feel like I listen to so many different ones, but if I had to pick one, it would definitely be pop. What about you?
Personally, R&B for me because I feel like there's more songs with like rhythm and blues,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite artist?
Oh, my favorite artist?
Yeah.
I feel like it rotates, but if I had to pick one, I would say Beyonce.
Why do you think Beyonce is your favorite artist?
I think she's my favorite artist because she makes so many different kinds of music that like if whatever I want to listen to, like I could just go to her discography and just like pick whatever.
What's your favorite song by her?
Favorite song? At the moment, my favorite song from her is definitely America Has a Problem. I feel like it has so many layers to the song. Like if I was listening to a TikTok came up and it was like the background vocals and it's just like the difference between the background vocals and the actual like the way the song is just insane. Like the way there's so many layers to the song.
Are you planning on going to one of her concerts?
I actually wish. It was so hard to get tickets, and they're.
Oh, you got tickets?
No.
Oh.
I wish I did though, but like they're insanely expensive. Like it's crazy, and and what about you? What's your favorite?
My favorite artist probably like Rihanna, Drake.
Yeah.
And favorite song maybe "Love on the Brain" by Rihanna. Like
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
It's kind of basic, but like
it's a classic.
Like, it hits.
Yeah.
Who's your least favorite artist?
Oh my god, this could be controversial, but I feel like this is gonna upset so many people. But my least favorite artist is definitely Harry Styles.
Yeah.
I feel like his songs are just so like, I hate to say it, but boring. Like I cannot, like I'm so used to listening to like Nicki Minaj, like those upbeat, fast songs. That like listening to his, it's just like, you know, like it's like.
Yeah, like those are two different genres. You know, like Harry Styles is
Exactly.
like up there, like with like he's one of many artists that
Yeah,
have
exactly.
like trending songs every week.
Mhm.
But I feel like for me too, like I wouldn't say he's my favorite artist.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
agree.
least favorite song?
Least favorite song of all time?
Mhm.
Ugh, that's hard because I feel like my least favorite song list is so long. But I feel like I'm gonna have to go with Dance Monkey.
Dance Monkey.
I feel like that's just so many people hate that song, but it's for a reason.
I mean, like that song is just like
It's just
it's
like
a little weird.
Yeah, like I just can't. Like,
It's upbeat, but it's like also
it's also
not.
like
It's weird.
It's so repetitive
Yeah.
that it's like, okay, like
Yeah.
can we stop like the song now?
What's your favorite album from Beyonce or Nicki Minaj or?
My favorite album,
Yeah.
probably Flawless, because there's a song that both Beyonce and Nicki Minaj are in.
Mm.
I love it. Flawless Remix, one of my favorites. Yes.
What is your least favorite album?
Least favorite album? Oh, that's so hard. Like actually, I'm gonna have to go with something from Harry Styles. I don't really know I don't know the name, but it kind of looks like he has like a 0.5 fisheye lens on the
Is
cover.
that like the most recent one? The one
Yeah.
that, where it sounds like Ant Farm in like one of the songs. You know, like.
Yes.
Yeah,
That one.
no, I
just-
wouldn't. I
Like he
wouldn't-
just
yeah.
took Ant Farm. Like
He just
took
copied
the
them.
theme. So-
Yeah, no. I feel like his concerts though seem very lively.
Yeah, they do.
He seems like he has fun concerts and stuff,
Mhm.
but overall, him just no.
Yeah, just not for me. Not for me at all.
Yeah.
What would you say your least favorite artists are?
My favorite artist, like I said, Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna.
Album probably Unapologetic.
Yeah.
Anti Deluxe. Any of that, honestly, Take Care by Drake. That it just hits.
Yeah, it
you know,
just
like
hits. It
it's
does.
very. I just can't even explain it. Like it's actually just so good. But my least favorite album, probably the same thing as you said. You know, Harry Styles is just not hitting. You know, not my favorite.
He's not.
You know, probably never will be my favorite.
Yeah.
But you know,
I
like
agree.
speaking of songs, we had the opportunity to play a game of song association challenge with our friends. So here's a look at how it went.
Love me like you do, love me like you do. Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding.
Something about you makes me feel like Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande.
I can't help falling in love. Yeah, that song by Elvis.
Don't go away just yet, because when we come back, we will discuss our favorite artists and current events in the music industry. All right, so let's start. The halftime show. What do we think of that?
It was so good. Probably my favorite halftime show. Probably because my favorite artist is Rihanna. But like,
Yes.
regardless of that, like it was just so good. Like it stayed trending for quite a while.
No,
People
it
were
did.
Creating it.
I feel like even to this day, you still people doing the like
Yeah, the
Rude
rude boy dance. You know, I feel like it's just like I don't.
Yeah.
The song choices were so good.
good.
Like
Yeah.
it gave Rihanna like a chance to like show off some of her best songs. You know, like some of her like most viral songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like even like the pregnancy announcement too.
Mhm.
I feel like no one was expecting that, which was a fun
That
little
was-
surprise.
And
Yeah.
ASAP, did you see that video of ASAP? You know, like
Yes.
recording. You know, during Diamonds. So
that was so good. Oh my god. Now, although I love the show, I was still kind of upset Drake didn't come out.
Mhm.
I was really expecting that. I was kind of like I was
Yeah.
waiting for it, you know.
I was waiting for someone to like pop up, you know, like during work, or like she could have
Yeah.
sung like other songs with, like,
Mhm. Like-
for just herself, you know. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Most of her songs that she sang were just collabs or like features, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's still good.
It was still amazing, you know.
Mhm.
It was still amazing. So, now that we're on the topic of Rihanna, what do we think about like the fact that she just came back like out of like she's been in
Mhm.
her makeup era, her Fenty.
Yep.
You know.
I feel like I'm glad that she's back, but now we have to wait longer for R9, her next album.
Oh yes.
Because she's pregnant, she can't create more songs.
I know we're still like in a little bit of drought, but we got that little something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do we think of the whole? Like, where did Doja Cat go? Because
She's gone. I don't
She's
know.
gone.
She's spiraling right now. I think she's switching her brand over to modeling,
Yeah.
artistry.
she's really like, I feel like after that whole Noah Schnapp thing, she just went
Downfall.
down. Yeah, she just like went down.
We're waiting on her next album,
We
which
are.
probably won't come.
I know. I've been ever since Planet Her. I've just been like
Needing,
needing
craving.
something. I've been needing something new. She
Mhm.
had that like single Vegas come out for the Elvis movie,
Yep.
but I mean
That's
that
it.
was really good. But like, I feel like I needed more.
We definitely needed more.
Yeah.
Like, she can't just lay this on like that.
Yeah, no, she did, and like her shaving her head, like her no eyebrows.
That one outfit at Fashion Week, maybe.
Oh,
What was
yes.
it?
Was
the
it the
red
red?
outfit.
The red, yeah.
It gave yo Gabba Gabba. But
it really did. I was, like all her other looks have been just so iconic. I feel and like so good that this one just like
it was a little
I just
something.
didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know how to feel about. I didn't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, speaking of artists, what do we think about all these new artists coming out on tour, like Beyonce, Drake, SZA?
Mhm. Like, I feel I want to go to a Drake concert so bad. Like,
Oh,
I
me
think that would be
too.
so fun. SZA's concert, it like looks so good.
It looks
Beyonce's
amazing,
tour.
yes.
I feel like it'll be like really like fun to go to, especially with somebody that knows the song.
Yes. Oh, that'll be
Just,
so
like, sing
fun.
your heart out.
I know.
It'll be so fun. I want to go so bad, but the prices.
Oh my God, these prices, insane. Like,
I don't. Oof.
Like,
It's
I don't even know.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because $500 for one person, that's kind of sad. Like,
and it's like not even like a good seat. Like it's all literally
it's the back seat.
the back. Yeah.
Like, the pit is, I saw it was 1,100 something. Like,
Mhm.
I can't do that.
Yeah, and even Taylor Swift, her tour, like I saw like 4,000 for a
Mhm.
seat. That's insane. Like,
Yeah, I don't like that.
and these fans are diehard. Like I've been
Mhm.
looking at my TikTok, all these OOTDs for all these concerts. They are insane. Like fans custom making outfits.
Mhm.
Crazy, insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
But after seeing that little Beyonce Dubai thing,
Mhm.
like that, I feel like if she
That-
delivers that at her concert, like that's just
That'll
gonna
be
wanna go
something.
even
That'll be like going crazy all over like the world. Like,
Oh,
people are gonna be
it's
talking about that for so long
so
if it happens
long.
again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. But I really hope Drake has some special guests at his concert.
I heard he's
wonder.
going with 21 Savage.
That's gonna
But
be
maybe
fun.
he could like bring out like some other people.
Mhm.
'Cause he's made songs with so many people.
Oh, so many. Like you never know. Nicki Minaj should come out.
Yeah.
You never know.
Andre 3000.
Mhm. We
A
never know
lot.
what could come out.
So also like the celebrity brands like like Fenty. There's
Fenty.
Rare Beauty.
Yes, I know. And all these brands, I feel like ever since they came out, like they've just been like so popular. Just
Yeah.
not even just because of the like artists that created it. I feel like even like the products they make are just so good. Like I know the Fenty lip
Yeah.
glosses are just very popular, and the Rare Beauty like blushes. Yeah. But speaking of Rare Beauty, what do we think of this whole Selena and Hailey drama?
It's going messy.
Yeah.
Like, recently, I know like Hailey reached out to Selena. She posted on her Instagram
Oh, I
story
saw
saying
that.
like she was receiving like some like nasty threats and stuff. It was
Yeah, that was insane. But honestly, Queen Selena for like advocating for Hailey all after even all this drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not gonna lie though, I feel like the edits that I see on
They're a little
online
funny.
are a little funny.
You know.
They're a little funny. I do laugh. I have to say, it was very
Yeah.
very funny. Very funny.
All this talk about artists, brands, like it kind of reminds me of that. Like we had the opportunity to ask our peers questions about their favorite artists and brands. So let's take a look.
My favorite artist is Drake. My least favorite artist is probably Harry Styles. And my favorite celebrity brand is Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez.
My favorite artist is SZA, and my least favorite artist is Hailey Bieber. My favorite brand is Tarte.
My favorite artist is Taylor Swift, and my least favorite celebrity is Hailey Bieber. My favorite celebrity brand is Rare Beauty because of Selena Gomez.
Well, that's about everything for this episode of The Industry. Tune in next time for details on the music industry. See you next time.